Squirrel Bait here, and welcome to Going Sideways, where I discuss current events that affect our preparedness and our freedoms, and a little bit of past events at times too, it turns out. This video is going to be part of a two-part series. And in this one, we're going to talk about infrasound, and in the next one, we're going to talk about how sound and light are used in hypnotic states. And we're going to get into some of the CIA projects. And all of this, by the way, is tied into the Brain Initiative, which I talked about in a previous video also, and the blue light video, and the scopolamine video. These two videos take all of this information and bring it into today. So buckle up. Here we go. In this video, we're going to talk about infrasound. Sound is generally considered to be infrasonic if the frequency is less than 20 hertz, which is the lower limit of our hearing. In other words, we don't hear the majority of infrasound. Okay? We can feel its effects, which I'll talk about. Low-frequency sounds travel further than high-frequency ones, which make them ideal for long-distance communication. Some of the low tones made by elephants is infrasonic, for example. Whales, for example. Infrasound is also produced by storms, seasonal winds, and weather patterns, and some types of earthquakes. Remember that recent story going around about the earth ringing like a bell? And how this infrasonic vibration went around the world due to activity within the earth? Infrasound. Yeah. British scientists have shown in a controlled experiment that infrasound produces a range of bizarre effects in people, including anxiety. Can induce anxiety. Think about that. Extreme sorrow and chills. Links to all of this, by the way, is down below for you. Although we cannot normally hear infrasound, if the sound pressure is strong enough, we can often feel it as vibration. Exposure and duration in decibel, how loud, is the key here and not mentioned in most info I have found on the subject. However, this would clearly be included in any kind of real scientific study, wouldn't you think? So I want you to keep that in mind when you're looking at information online about infrasound exposure, because it makes absolutely no sense to me. How can you study it without studying it at different strengths, at different decibels, at different duration of exposure? How can any study be scientific if you negate that? That doesn't make sense. You got to keep your thinking cap on. And you're looking at information, absolutely. So, with that in mind, in a National Institute of Health infrasound toxicological, I said it, summary done in November of 2001, real scientific information is revealed, because that's exactly what they did. The measurement of intensity of infrasound is the sound pressure level, SPL, usually given in decibels. Reported effects include those on the inner ear, vertigo, imbalance, etc., intolerable sensations, incapacitation, disorientation, nausea, vomiting, bowel spasms, and resonances in internal organs, such as the heart. Workers exposed to simulated industrial infrasound of 5 to 10 hertz and levels of 100 and 135 decibels for 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, reported feelings of fatigue, apathy, depression, pressure in the ears, loss of concentration, drowsiness, and vibration of internal organs. See the links below for adverse effects on guinea pigs, rabbits, mice, rats, at various decibels and duration of exposure. Yes, adverse health effects. Study is down below for you. The U.S. Army has an infrasound weapons program, and infrasound is being considered for riot control and other police actions, which I have alluded to in other videos. The use of infrasound-generated non-lethal weapons is based on the assumption that high-powered infrasound will incapacitate those subjected to it with nausea and other gastrointestinal disturbances, like the study talked about. The effects of long-term exposure to infrasound were studied in 40 active Swiss Air Force pilots who were exposed to a frequency of 14 or 16 hertz at 125 decibels. Blood pressure was decreased, causing deterioration of blood suffusion of vital organs. Heart rate and blood pressure were increased during psychological tests. Alertness was decreased, and hearing threshold and time perception were altered. Keep that time perception being altered in mind on the next video, talking about the effects of light and sound on brain states, hypnotic states. Okay. Our devices can receive infrasound, meaning electronic devices. They are capable of receiving infrasound as demonstrated by an available app. See the link down below regarding the Redbox Infrasound Recorder app available to collect infrasound data. Remember, earthquakes and so forth can give off infrasound. Okay. So it's a fascinating app, but what it tells me is that so then our handheld devices can receive it, right? Can our devices produce or transmit infrasound? Well, provided to you below is a link to this. This is about a project regarding the wireless transmission of infrasound. Yeah. For use for other purposes, but the technology is what is key here. That's what I want you to see in that, is the technology. Link down below. So the question regarding our devices is not whether or not it can receive infrasound. It's whether or not it has the capacity, the audio circuitry to transmit it to you. You had a device in your hand, okay? Does it have a hidden app, hidden software, kind of like the spyware that you find out about that you have when you get your device that you didn't know you had? Comes to you from the manufacturer during the manufacturing process, to be more specific. Can these devices, since they're always connected to the internet, not this one, thankfully, but for example, my laptop is like connected to the internet all the time, right? Can our devices transmit infrasound? We wouldn't know because we can't hear it. So your guess is as good as mine, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Just more things to think about. And I want you to think about it. I want you to think about what that means, what you already know, what you've seen in the news. Question everything, and I mean everything.